we have obtained the scattering cross section in center of mass frame. Now we will obtain the relation between scattering cross section in center of mass frame and lab frame of reference. So here we will use one common sense, that is, as number of particles scattered in lab and center of mass frame won't change, means the frame, whatever be the frame of reference, either it is lab or center of mass frame, the number of particles which are scattered in corresponding frames are equal. So using this, we can say that number of particles scattered into solid angle in center of mass system, which is denoted by d omega dash, and that is equal to 2 pi sin theta dash d theta dash. We have already discussed this, how it comes. So this number of particles scattered into the solid angle d omega dash, which is in center of mass system, this must be equal to the number of particles scattered into solid angle, that is d omega, which is 2 pi sin theta d theta in lab system. This both should be equal. So I can say that dn dash will be equal to dn, that is number of particles scattered in center of mass frame will be equal to number of particles scattered in lab frame of reference. So we have already discussed formula for differential cross section, which is given by sigma omega dash, sigma of omega dash, and it was equal to dn dash upon I d omega dash. This we have discussed in previous lecture. So from that knowledge, I can find dn dash, which is related with differential cross section, that is sigma omega dash. So dn dash will be equal to sigma of omega dash into I d omega dash. And here you know that this d omega dash is nothing but 2 pi sin theta dash into d theta dash. So I have substituted value of d omega dash. So this differential cross section will become function of theta dash. This discussion we have already did in previous lecture. So according to this, the number of particles scattered in center of mass frame is 2 pi I sigma of theta dash sin theta dash d theta dash. And for lab frame also it will be same, just notations are different. In lab frame we don't use dash. So this both number of particles scattered are equal in corresponding frames. So for those corresponding frames, we have substituted value of number of particles scattered, and here we cancel the common terms, which is 2 pi I on both sides. And if we rearrange this equation such that I have just kept this sigma of theta dash on LHS and take these remaining terms on RHS. So we will get here sigma of theta dash equals to sigma of theta, here sin theta d theta upon sin theta dash d theta dash. Since on LHS it was multiplied, it will come on RHS and it will get divided. Let me call this as equation number 30. So I can write this sin theta d theta as derivative of cos theta, because you know derivative of cos theta is nothing but minus sin theta d theta. So this is for cos theta, and on denominator there is for theta dash. So if I took it for denominator, I will get cos theta dash, which will be again minus sin theta dash d theta dash. So minus sign will get cancelled, it will become plus. Therefore, instead of this whole ratio, I can write it in derivative form. So I will get sigma of theta dash as sigma of theta into derivative of cos theta upon derivative of cos theta dash. Now I will call this as equation 31. Now we will use equation 16. Equation 16 was tan theta dash equals to sin theta dash upon m1 plus m2 plus cos theta dash. So this was our equation number 16. In this there is no dash over here, there is only tan theta. So this was our equation number 16. I will use this equation as well as we will use this identity, which is cos square theta equals to 1 upon 1 plus tan square theta. So using this identity, in which we will put this tan square as this value, so that I will take square root of this. I will get here cos theta is equal to root of 1 will be 1. So I will write it directly 1 upon under root 1 plus tan square theta. Now from equation 16 we will put value of tan square theta. We will square it and we will substitute it over here. So by squaring this quantity we will get, let's write it. By squaring tan square theta we will get here cos theta is equals to 1 upon root of this one as it is, plus instead of tan square I will put square of this equation 16, that is sin square theta dash upon, now this square will be calculated by using a plus b square formula, that is a square plus 2ab plus b square, which will be a square means m1 upon m2 square plus 2a into b means m1 upon m2 cos theta dash and b square, that is plus cos square theta dash. So this is value of tan square theta. Now here we will do rationalization, means I will multiply and divide this one by this term and I will make denominator same, so that we can do here addition. So if we did that addition we will get, so this denominator from root term will be same now by rationalization. So we will get cos theta is equals to 1 upon under root. Now denominator we are going to make it same by rationalization, which is m1 upon m2 square plus 2 m1 upon m2 cos theta dash plus cos square theta dash. And here on the numerator of this root we will get this term plus sin square theta, because we made denominator same, we can do addition of numerator. So I will get m1 upon m2 square plus 2 m1 upon m2 cos theta dash plus cos square theta dash plus sin square theta dash. Now if you observe this term, this was the square of m1 upon m2 plus cos theta dash, that is, and which is again inside the root, and it is reciprocal of this, means I can take this, I can write this term on numerator, and which is under the root into this square, it will get cancelled and only this term will remain. So we will get here cos theta is equals to this m1 upon m2 plus cos theta dash upon, now this addition will be 1 since there is identity that cos square theta plus sin square theta is 1. So this addition will be 1. I will write that 1 first, then I will write the remaining term, which are 2 m1 upon m2 cos theta dash plus m1 upon m2 and its square. So this is our cos theta. Now in equation 31 we have to find derivative of this cos theta. So this is complicated derivative. The derivative of equation which is in the form of ratio. So there is a specific formula that we are going to use. That formula is, if there is derivative of two function, let's say first function is f and another is g, which are function of x, and we are finding its derivative with respect to x, then the derivative for the quantity which is in the form of ratio of two function, it is calculated by using this quotient rule or the rule for derivative of the ratio. This rule is, we will take first derivative of denominator into that function. Here there is correction, first function is g of x and second is h of x. So the formula is, first we will take derivative of g of x into this h of x minus g of x into derivative of h of x, and on the denominator there is square of these functions. So now here this quantity we are going to take as a g of x, and this quantity which is under the root, that we are going to take as a h of x. So according to this formula, if we calculate derivative of cos theta, so that here we will get, now this function I will treat as g of x, and the quantity which is under the root I will take it as h of x. So we will get here derivative of cos theta is equals to, now first we have to take the derivative of g dash, that is derivative of g of x. Now this is our g of x. Now its derivative with respect to theta dash will be just derivative of cos theta dash. There is plus m1 upon m2. Since it is not function of theta dash, its derivative will be 0. So derivative of g of x comes to be derivative of cos theta dash. We will keep it as it is because there is little bit simplification. So, and this multiplied by this quantity which is under the root, which we have called as a h of x. So into this quantity which is inside the root. We don't have enough space, so I will just write root and this bracket. You should get idea that in the bracket there are these terms, okay, because it is a large equation. So I will skip writing of those large equation. Now minus, now g of x is what now? This term, that is m1 upon m2 plus cos theta dash. Now here the derivative of h of x, that is this term. Now we know that d by dx of root x. Derivative of root is 2 root x into derivative of x, that is 1. We will use this formula for h of x. So here we will get h dash. To find h dash x, its derivative will be, there is root. So derivative of root is 1 upon 2 root. So we will get 1 upon 2 root, that root, and this equation is there, I am skipping its writing, into derivative of quantity which is inside the root. So here if you observe that derivative will be, derivative of these two terms will be 0 since there is no theta dash. So there will be only derivative of this term and its derivative is 2 as it is. m1 upon m2 is also constant. So there is only derivative of cos theta dash. And on denominator there is square of h, means square of this quantity which is inside the root. So root into square, both will get cancelled and we will get 1 plus 2m1 upon m2 cos theta dash plus m1 upon m2 its square. In book all these steps are skipped. I am taking these steps so you have to practice it, you have to do yourself, then only it will be clear. I am trying to clear it in very easiest way. I hope it is clear to you. So now here if you observe, again we will make denominator same. So by making denominator same, before that this 2 will get cancelled with this 2, and here if you observe these two terms, from these two terms we can take derivative of cos theta dash common and we will take it on LHS. So on RHS it is multiplied, on when it will come on LHS it will get divided. So let me write it first. I have taken this and this as a common and I am taking it on RHS. So it will come over here at the denominator. So we got this ratio. We are calculating this quantity from equation number 31 and we will substitute this ratio in equation 31. Now here after taking this common, what are remaining term? That is quantity which is inside the square root minus these terms. So this square root and this square root, root into root, you know that if there is the quantity root x into root x, it is taken as x, right? So by rationalization, I will multiply by this quantity to this term and I will make denominator same. So by making denominator same, we will get here this root into root, this root will get cancelled, and since by this formula there will be only quantity remaining which is that bracketed quantity. So I will get here 1 plus 2m1 upon m2 cos theta dash plus m1 upon m2 square, and here there is the term which I am writing and we will multiply this with minus sign. So we will solve this bracket, multiply by this m1 upon m2 inside as well as negative sign. We will get m1 upon m2 square minus m1 upon m2 into cos theta dash, and on denominator this root. So here there is the quantity which is inside the root, and to this term is divided, that is again divide by this term. So here the quantity inside the root is this quantity. So let's write it 1 plus 2m1 upon m2 cos theta dash plus m1 upon m2 and its square, and again on its denominator, so the equal to sign will be here. this is our numerator and this is the denominator. So here 1 plus 2, this quantity I am writing m1 upon m2 cos theta dash plus m1 upon m2 and its square. Now if you observe, this and these terms are same, just their power are different. Power of this term is root, that is 1 by 2, and power of this term is 1. So here we can take this quantity which is inside the root on denominator, and there will be two brackets with different powers. So power of first bracket will be 1 by 2 and another is having power 1. And if base is same, we can do addition of power. So 1 by 2 plus 1, we will get this addition 3 by 2. Means I will do simplification of these two terms and I will write just term which will be having power 3 by 2, because there we can take product of these two terms, because 1 upon again 1, that is reciprocal of reciprocal is same quantity. So we can take addition of power of these two terms and we will write here simplified equation as, let's write it. So here we will get on LHS there is d cos theta upon d cos theta dash. Now we will take addition because here there is 1 upon this. So I can take addition of these two terms. So we will get here, if you observe here, these two terms will get cancelled, right? So what is remaining term? It is, let's write it. So here again, if you observe, this is 2m1 upon m2 cos theta dash minus m1 upon m2 cos theta dash, means 2 minus 1 into m1 upon m2 cos theta dash. So this subtraction will be 1 plus m1 upon m2 cos theta dash. We subtracted these two terms. 2 minus 1 into this quantity, we got only 1 times m1 upon m2 cos theta dash on numerator upon, on denominator these two terms are same and addition of their power is 3 by 2 as we have discussed here, and inside bracket there is 1 plus 2m1 upon m2 cos theta dash plus m1 upon m2 and its square. So here we have calculated the value of cos theta dash. So we will call this equation as equation number 33 and we will put this value of equation number 33 in equation number 30. So if we put the value of equation number 33 or here, that is 31, put equation number 33 in equation 31. Put 33 in 31. So this is our 31. So here instead of this ratio we can write this bracket and there will be the value after substitution we will got, this is 31. So instead of this ratio I will write this whole quantity. We will get here. So by substitution we got this equation. Now we will call this equation as equation number 34. So this is the relation between the scattering cross section for center of mass frame to the scattering cross section for lab frame of reference. So this is important relation. Now we will discuss two cases for this equation 34. In first case we will take both particles as an identical particle, that is m1 equals to m2. So here If we call this equation for cos theta as equation number 32, we missed this number. So note this equation as equation number 32. So in this equation, if we put m1 equals to m2, here we will get 1 plus cos theta dash upon 1 plus 2 into again here 1 cos theta dash plus 1. Means here if we put m1 is equal to m2, that is identical particle in equation number 32. So here equation 32 becomes, we will get here cos theta as, I will substitute therefore if both are equal, m1 upon m2 will be 1. So we will put this ratio as 1 in equation 32 and we will get 1 plus cos theta dash upon, this is modification in 32, 1 plus 2 cos theta dash plus 1. So this 1 plus 1 we will get 2. So let's write 1 plus cos theta dash upon 2 plus 2 cos theta dash. I have written this addition over here. Now here we will take this term. If you observe here, this quantity was in square root in equation 32. So there is square root over here. Now if we take this part inside the square root, it will get square. So I can write it as 1 plus cos theta dash square upon, take 2 common from this, we will get 1 plus cos theta dash. So square will cancel this bracket and here we will get under root 1 upon this 2. Sorry, here there is 1 plus cos theta dash upon this 2. And we will use here the formula, that is identity, which is 2 cos square theta by 2 is equal to 1 plus cos theta. Means here there is theta dash, so I will convert it in our required form. Now instead of this 1 plus cos theta dash, I can use 2 cos square theta dash by 2 by using this identity. So we will get cos theta is equals to, I can write directly 2 cos square theta dash by 2 upon 2. This 2 will get cancelled and root of square of cos theta dash by 2 will be cos theta dash by 2 after taking square root. And if we take cos inverse on both sides, we will get theta is equals to theta dash upon 2. That is, I can write theta dash is equals to 2 theta. In previous lecture also, in one of the case, we have calculated this relation. That is, scattering angle in lab frame is equal to the half of the scattering angle in center of mass frame. So here we will use this theta dash is equal to 2 theta and m1 equals to m2 in equation number 34. This was our equation number 34. So here we will take m1 upon m2 as 1 and instead of theta dash we will put it as a 2 theta. We will get sigma of theta dash as sigma of theta into, now m1 upon m2 will be 1 since m1 and m2 are equal. So here only 1 plus cos theta. Now instead of theta dash we have to put 2 theta. So we will get 1 plus cos 2 theta upon 1 plus, now m1 upon m2 is again 1 into 2 cos, instead of theta dash we will put 2 theta. Again this m1 upon m2 is 1, that is 1, and this raised to 3 by 2. So this is the modification in equation 34 after substitution of theta dash as 2 theta and m1 equals to m2. Now I can also write this equation as, I will take this 1 plus 1 2 and I will write modified equation on next page. So we got this relation. Now here we will take 2 common from this term and I will write it as sigma of theta into 1 plus cos 2 theta upon, I will take 2 common, 2 into 1 plus cos 2 theta raised to 3 by 2. Now if I have to take this 2 outside this power, I have to make its cube as well as root, means this 2 is having power 3 by 2. So this will be equals to cube of 2 and it will be inside the root, means here this is the form. So I can write it as root 8 because cube of 2 is 8. So here what we will do, sigma of theta into 1 plus cos 2 theta into this root 8, and now there will be only term 1 plus cos 2 theta raised to 3 by 2. Why I did this step? Because if you observe these two terms, these are same, so I can take the simplified form as base is same, so I will simplify their power. Now this is 1 upon this raised to 3 by 2, so I can write it as sigma theta 1 by root 8, this as it is 1 plus cos 2 theta into, I can write this as 1 plus cos 2 theta raised to minus 3 by 2, since it is 1 upon this bracket raised to 3 by 2. Now if you observe here, bases are same, so we can take addition of power, which is 1 minus 3 by 2. So this will become 2 minus 3 upon 2, which is minus 1 by 2. So we got here sigma of theta into this 1 plus cos 2 theta raised to 1 by 2 upon root 8. And since it is, this power is negative, I can write it on denominator. So I will write it here, there is sigma of theta dash. So we got here 1 upon root 8 into root of this 1 plus cos 2 theta. Now if you observe this, here we will again use the identity, that is 1 plus cos 2 theta equals to 2 cos square theta. So instead of this 1 plus cos 2 theta, I can put it as 2 cos square theta. I will get sigma of theta into 1 upon root 8 into root of 2 into cos square theta. Instead of this, I have put this identity. So if you observe here, cos square theta, which is inside the root, so we will get here only cos theta, and this root 8 into root 2 we will get root 16, and square root of 16 is 4. So I can write here sigma of theta dash equals to sigma of theta into 1 upon 4 cos theta. In book they have skipped all these steps, so we have taken these steps explicitly so that it will be very clear to you. Now, if we took this term on LHS, it will get multiply. So, I will get here sigma of theta is equals to 4 cos theta into sigma of theta dash. And I will call this as equation number 25. So, again here, this is the relation between scattering cross section for lab frame and it is for center of mass frame when M1 is equals to M2. Now we will discuss second case, which is M2 is very much greater than M1, and if this is the case, the ratio of M1 upon M2 will tends to 0. Since this M2 is very large and M1 is very small, if we divide a very small quantity by very large quantity, that ratio will tends to 0. So if we do this substitution in equation 34, which was this equation. So here, if we put M1 upon M2 as 0, so this term will become 0, this also will become 0, and this term will also become 0. Means only remain 1 by 1, that is 1. That means equation 34 will be just sigma of theta dash equals to sigma of theta by substitution of this M1 upon M2 equal to 0. Therefore, equation 34 becomes sigma of theta dash equals to sigma of theta. That is, scattering cross section in lab frame is equal to the scattering cross section in center of mass frame. Hence, we can say that the scattering cross section in lab and center of mass system are equal when M2 is very much greater than M1. So, this is the relation between cross section in center of mass and laboratory systems. So, here there is end of chapter 3. There are only 4 problems based on this chapter. You have to try to solve these problems, and we will solve this problem further after completing chapter 4 and 5.